Miley Cyrus is in deep doo-doo. What's up, everybody? Rivera here, the absolute best LGBTQ comedian in the world. Last night I got read by a couple of my YouTube subscribers that told me I didn't turn my head on in the world, and they're right, I didn't. Now I'm making sure my mic's on because nothing's more frustrating than recording this entire thing and your mic didn't get any of it, which has happened to me, and I hate it, hate it, hate it. But anyway, Miley Cyrus is in trouble right now because she said something to the effect of, you can find a good guy, you don't have to be gay. And people were saying that she was implying, I'll include a link below so you guys can see the video for yourself. It's just on TMZ.com, and when TMZ puts something up, if you use their content, they will take your money. That's the way it works with TMZ. And I don't blame them because they're the ones that pay for it and whatever else. So it is what it is. I'll include a link below and you guys can check it out. But what she said, I guess some people could get offended about. But again, I mean, like, I'll expand a little bit, but I do feel like, why are you paying attention to Miley Cyrus anyway? Is anybody really worried about Miley Cyrus when it comes to that? Like, I'm not saying anything bad about Miley Cyrus and her music. I loved Wrecking Ball, that one, We Can't Stop. That one was good. And then, I don't know, she's all right, but I'm not paying attention to her. I don't care what she has to say about human sexuality or sexual orientation or sexual preference or any of that stuff, and some of it does kind of come into play, and that's why I think it's interesting to talk about, because I remember when I was young, the first lesbians I ever met, well, the first ones that ever admitted to me, were actually a friend's parents. And the one lady had told me that she had been molested by her father when she was young, and she had, because she had a daughter, and she had been with her daughter's father, and that he had abused her, and he didn't take care of her anyway, so she eventually left and started dating women. And she did make it sound like it was a string of shitty men that had led her to becoming lesbian. Now, you could say that that spark had to already be there for her to, like, you know, transition into LGBT life, or at that time just being a lesbian, because there was no LGBT. So you would think something would have to make you go out of the norm, or decide that going out of the norm was a better option than just doing what everybody else was doing, continuing to be with men. And maybe there's some validity to that. Maybe there is a little bit of a particular generation where, because she's not the only person that I ever met that really relayed that kind of feeling, you know? So I don't know that what she said is completely off the mark when it comes to certain people. Then that could have been the thing with her. Like, she could have been like, well, I can go for women. I mean, like, technically I prefer men, but I can go for women. And then she dated a few shitty men, and she was like, okay, well then I guess I'm going to exercise that option and actually go for women. So I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that. I don't think there's anything wrong with people continuing to express their personal views when it comes to being gay or any part of the community. Like, I personally knew when I was very young. Now, were there certain factors that I think kind of swayed me? Yeah, for sure. And I'll get into that at some point, but not on this particular video because I'm not in the mood to get that personal. Sometimes people think when you don't tell them everything that you're being dishonest with them, but sometimes you're just not ready to talk about certain things. And with a person like me that already talks more than I should, sometimes I do have to be careful with my feelings, and I do have to be careful with not exposing enough about myself that I actually end up hurting myself, which has happened before. And I don't mean physically hurting myself, but sometimes I just talk too much and I'm like, well, I guess I kind of wish that wasn't out there. So sometimes I do have to choose what I say, but I will tell you that sometimes you do feel like, yeah, there were probably certain factors that kind of guided me down this road, and so here we are. You know, I'm happy with who I am. I'm happy with who I choose to be with, and at this point I have no questions about anything when it comes to my sexual orientation. But I don't think there's anything wrong with other people continuing to explore that, and people like Miley Cyrus being like, okay, why was I with women at that point? Maybe they're not my first preference, and that's something that I would like to explore a bit. And so she talks about it on Instagram Live, and then sometimes you're just being cute with the person you're with, you know, so that also could have been part of it. Now, was it the smartest idea for her to post it on Instagram Live? I would say no, but that's the way people are now, and I've even done stuff like that where I've posted, you know, me talking to somebody either on a podcast or YouTube or Facebook Live, and then been like, yeah, that probably wasn't necessarily the smartest thing. But I'm not famous, so I don't have the same consequence that Miley Cyrus has. She put out a statement saying that nobody chooses their orientation, which again, I think is debatable. So I know people can get mad about it or whatever, but I personally am not mad at Miley Cyrus for saying what she said. She's just exploring her own thinking and obviously exploring her sexuality, and I don't blame her. Cody Simpson is a cute man. And then she was with Liam Hemsworth before that, and he's fucking hot, so who could blame a girl for exercising her options? And then if you can get bitches too, it's like, all right, I'll have a couple bitches. I'm Miley Cyrus. Let me make it rain. Get these hoes, male and female. And so that's what she did. And now she talked about it. That's why they say the game's to be sold and not told, because some of you squares are going to get upset when you hear stuff that you don't like. I'm kind of tired of people making everything into a big deal, though. Miley Cyrus, if you don't want to pay attention to her, you shouldn't have been paying attention to her since Wrecking Ball. That's the last thing that she really did that was noteworthy. Then she had that Beetlejuice performance that she did with Thicke. I think it's Robin Thicke is his name, full name, Blurred Lines, when they did their live performance, and she had that flat ass. Speaking of flat ass, my ass is starting to get better, but I'm not ready to show it yet. I will, though, at some point when it's fully ready and reached its potential. I hope you guys have enjoyed this one. It's a short one, but it's better than nothing. This has been Ty Rivera, the absolute best LGBTQ comedian in the world.